Welcome back. So I thought for this session we would do a maybe 20-minute or so, 15 or 20-minute practice. And then if you like, we would have some time to go out into nature. It's not a particularly warm day here. It's cold and rainy, but I think I'm going to get dressed up and go outside anyway. One of the things that happens when we're out walking and we're also practicing silence, one of the things that happens when we're walking or when we're outdoors is that we could run into other people. And if we've made a commitment to not speak for this time, then there can be a bit of anxiety around that and some planning perhaps. So one of the things that I do is just to not worry about it. If somebody comes along and they say hello, and I feel like it would be rude not to say hello back, then I'll just say hello and not worry about breaking the silence. So the practice of silence is really to turn our attention inward and to let the mind come to a little bit of a resting that it might not have normally. I've noticed even just doing this practice that there's a bit of a tug to check social media or something like that. And so last night when I was going to sleep, I couldn't sleep right away and I wanted to read a book for a while. And I don't generally read when I'm doing a practice of silence, so I didn't. And I just kind of laid there. I was fine. Not like I needed to go to sleep right away. I was just enjoying the stillness anyway. But we have so many habits in the mind, and they really start to be, we notice them in a different way when we do a practice like this that's longer than usual. So going out of doors and into nature can be really rich when we're in a state of silence because we don't have our music on, we're not talking to people, and we're not distracted the way or kind of that momentum that gets going in our daily life the way that we might be normally. So if you decide to go out into nature after this and go for a walk or connect somehow into nature, then don't worry about it if someone says hello. And also don't engage in conversation if you don't have to. And then just see what happens. And one of the beautiful things that can happen is that we really connect with what it is we're taking in through our eyes and our senses, our smell, the sounds. So if you're somewhere beautiful and the smells are nice, it's fresh air, and the sounds are quieter, perhaps they're not horns honking or something, then we could notice that as well. Just really settle into noticing the surroundings without so much mental chatter, perhaps. So let's do a little practice of connecting with our breath, connecting with the thoughts in the mind. And then we'll break early to go out into nature. So notice if you've made a plan. It might be that you're not going to do that. It might be that you are. You might be thinking ahead to where you might go. And that's always interesting because we have these visual memories come up, visual images, and we have a body memory of what it's like if we're going on a familiar walk. And it might be something we would be looking forward to right now, or maybe not. We could have all kinds of experiences with that. So just notice your experience right now. Notice the thoughts that are in your mind. And sometimes there's a thought pattern of making ourselves right or wrong. So notice that if that's there. There's no right or wrong way to do this. We can do what we want. This time that we're spending is a gift to ourselves. And it's wonderful to be able to fine tune that through the time. So notice what it is that you'd really like to do now. And if it is getting out to nature, notice how that feels in your body. Notice the energy of that. And take the first few minutes of that journey outside in your mind. You might be getting jacket or shoes or something on. You've decided where you're going to go, how long, if you're walking there or driving. So you're walking out the door. And once we're outside, we're feeling the fresh air. We're hearing different sounds. We're having a different experience in terms of other people, potential other threats than we would if we were at home. So notice there's a whole different energy or feeling to it when we walk outside. It might be very familiar, like taking our dog for a walk on a certain path that we go on almost every day. Or it might be somewhere that we save as a treat. We do it occasionally. For me, I'll be out walking on the beach, which is a regular practice, but not every day. I have many memories of beautiful walks on the beach, to all kinds of weather. Usually this time of year and with this kind of weather, there won't be anybody else around much. So we already know ahead of time a lot of what we're planning to do and what we probably will reach there, what's probably going to be our experience, or at least we know elements of it. And along with those kinds of images of what we might expect in terms of the scenery and that kind of thing, we might also have a habitual response around being out where other people are. It could be a social threat or anxiety. It could be something that we're just worried about a little bit, maybe from past experience, maybe just from general knowing these things can happen. We're not quite as safe physically when we're out in public as we are generally at home. So we feel a bit different. Our guard is up in a different way. So let's tune into that for a moment. See if we could allow our system to relax so that when we go out onto this walk, we're not going out with all of our old ideas. It's not like we need to get rid of them completely. It's just that we don't want them to have too important of a place. We can trust ourselves to look around and see what's going on. We don't really need to bring anxiety or fear from the past into this moment. Just to notice what your experience is with that. We really get to see our patterns when we practice silence, partly because there's not a distraction. So, what is that going to be like? And what is it that you could do to help stay present, to not kind of dissociate with other thoughts or past worries, perhaps? And feel that in your body. Relax your whole body from head to toes. And as you do that, notice if there's anything where there's a bit of energy, a bit of contraction or tightness there. For some of us, it's the neck and the back of the body, the shoulders, the large muscles of the upper back. Could be your jaw, your gut, your forehead. And as you exhale, let your body soften. And set your intention for this next hour and a half or so to be open to meeting the moment as it is, without too much attention on that overlayer of thoughts and habits that we normally carry around with us. If we're out of nature, to really observe and see what's going on, and to do that more through our sense perceptions, the feeling of air on skin, the sound of birds, the sight of the trees and different things. And let thoughts be in the background. And then thoughts will intrude, and then we'll stop and reconnect again. That's always how it works. And from time to time, really touch into that deepest sense of peace and stillness that we've ever known. Connect with that right now as well. So, to sum it up and to repeat for the new person who's just joined us, this particular 2 hour session, we're taking some time to give ourselves a chance to go out into nature if we want. So, it could be for a walk or whatever it is that works for you. And while we're out there doing the practice, we're trying to meet each moment fresh. So without that overlayer of thoughts and expectations, of the memories of things that have happened on our previous walks or the last time we were there, just really use our sense perceptions, the smells, the aromas, this feeling of the air on our skin, the freshness of being outside, the color of a tree, the movement of branches. So we're going to intentionally let our thoughts move to the background. Tune in and become aware again of the deepest stillness that we know and let ourselves experience that connection with nature in a fresh way. So we'll be back again in an hour and 3/4. That gives everybody enough time to go outside and do what they wish. And at the end of the day, maybe that's something we could report back with too, of what our experiences were on that. I will see you again in an hour and 3/4. Enjoy.